Welcome back, everyone. I'm John Furrier with theCUBE. We're live in Paris, France. theCUBE coverage, SiliconANGLE and theCUBE, and of course, the NYSE Wired, part of theCUBE effort and collaboration, of course, getting all the action, and we're here on the ground as we go international and bring the AI conversation at scale globally, where the AI infrastructure is going under significant acceleration of change, creating massive amounts of value, and all the startups, all the companies are here. Paul Bloch is the DDN co-founder and president, storied company. Paul, welcome to theCUBE.
Thank you, John, appreciate it. Thanks for having me again.
Yes. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
C'est good? C'est bon?
Toujours un plaisir de vous voir.
Very, very good. I'll have one of those. I love DDN because as a company, we've been covering it. It's been one of the companies, one, self-funded, well documented, but it's been in the storage business for a long, long time. Series of waves of innovation. We've seen the movie, but right now, as storage becomes a data platform,
Sure.
You have now large-scale storage fabrics powering these supercomputers. It's really a combination of infrastructure innovation, which is, physically is storage and drives and, now software, and then you have the enablement of the data layers on top of it. This is going to open up the aperture of value of how data is stored, how data is processed. The game is still the same, but it's changed.
Sure.
So what is the perspective as you navigate through the company, look forward, as the key drivers for DDN today?
Sure. So, historically, right, if you look at it, DDN is a 25-year-old billion-dollar startup, right? So that's the way we look at it. So the first 15 years of the company were really focusing and delivering and becoming the leader in high-performance computing. Meaning what? For 15 years, we did sovereign HPC. We did sovereign research. We did sovereign defense. We did sovereign and so forth, right? Yeah. So literally, it was an easy transition for us. 10 years ago, we decided to partner with NVIDIA, right? We had a meeting with Jensen. They were looking for the right data storage and data intelligence partner. They looked at the universe and they zeroed in on DDN. So we're very proud of that. And over the past 10 years, we really kind of leveraged on this relationship, opened new ones as well, right? But really learned and fine-tune our technology, our roadmap, our delivery, our customer situation to deliver two types of solutions, right? First were massive training, right? Because this is really still the behemoth of the AI clusters being deployed. So training of foundation models.
And spend, too.
And spend, absolutely.
Yeah,
we have to survive, right? We have to make a buck at the end of the day to be able to invest in R&D. So, and delight our customers as well. So training, right? Foundation models, training for startup, fine-tuning of models, right? Has been pretty much the workhorse, and our technology, Exascaler, is really unbeatable there, proven at full scale. And even when customers pick some of our competition, they come right back to us as soon, or come to us once they need to scale because they understand the deficiencies of competition. And then now you're basically getting into inferencing, right? On-prem, in the cloud, multi-cloud, where are you going to run? Data intelligence is becoming everything. It's no longer data storage anymore, it's kind of data intelligence, right? Every AI breakthrough is driven by data intelligence, and it's becoming mission critical. So we have a new technology, actually interesting because Infinia is our, we launched it earlier this year with you guys as well, and it's a extremely fast KV, so call it a data ocean, but very low latency, multi-tenant ready, so really ready for the next generation of inference, and you can basically instantiate or manage your data, leverage your data, make money based on your data, on-prem, in the cloud, and it's a software instantiation.
I mean, you guys get serious customers. I mean, you have a great enterprise business, but when it comes down to the brass tacks, it's the big payloads. You're talking about the hyperscalers. You're talking about NVIDIA. I mean, early on, that's a good bet. I mean, you were there early, present at creation, really, of this wave. And I think one highlight of that is that in the past year, Intel has went from 73% market share to like 13 in 1 year. Which, if you think about it, that's mind blowing. That means NVIDIA won.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm oversimplifying it, but what it means is that tide has shifted.
Sure.
High scale, large scale, high volume, low latency, demands on the data is absolutely the demand.
Yeah, you need performance and accuracy, right? And so really, if you look at it historically, we have the large customers, right? NVIDIA was our largest customer in 21, 22, 23. In 24, XAI NVIDIA became our second largest customer, XAI was our top customer, right? But it's really not at that scale. We deliver at that scale, which is super important, but we also deliver at very small scale, right? We deliver to enterprise AI, we deliver to manufacturing companies, we deliver to banks, we deliver at any scale. We actually start with a very single little unit of 2U, right? But the notion is that we give them the security and the safety and the knowledge that they can scale seamlessly as they ramp, right? From a POC to production. But yeah, clearly we've demonstrated that the largest cluster we support is 200,000 GPU today, and it'll probably be about 1 million GPU at the end of the year.
Well, I want to get into some of the words you said earlier, sovereign this, sovereign that, you got sovereign everything. Sovereign cloud is the hottest trend that nobody's talking about.
Yep.
It will come on probably second half of the year, we predict. We think it'll be the top conversation in 2026. So when you talk about sovereign cloud, that brings back kind of the roots of DDN, which is, as we know, following you guys, there's engineering involved.
Yep.
You mentioned R&D, you guys do a lot of R&D investment. So, that work that's got to get done to do sovereignty, whether it's for a military application or some sort of use case that needs some bounds around it, but yet stay open and frictionless traversal. This is going to be an even larger scale sovereignty problem. Can you share your thoughts on what that means for sovereign cloud, that experience, how it translates, the NVIDIA piece?
Sure. So I mean, in essence, right, like I mentioned before, John, sovereign HPC, we actually did it. We've been doing it for 20 years, right? So the largest government labs, defense, intelligence agencies, smart cities and so forth, we deployed system. Now what you need to add is the AI portion of it, right? The more social media, all the rich content. You basically are just expanding this, right? And becoming also what you're doing now is you're creating more intelligence at the level of the company, of the country actually, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about enterprise, you're talking about company businesses, right? Yeah. So the difference is that it used to be only the labs and the energy and a few, per se, organization customers. Yeah. Right now, really, the sovereign AI is super important because you want to basically make your intelligence in country, keep it in country, and basically leverage and make dollars out of this, right?
Yeah.
And this is what you're talking about, AI factories, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So for example, Europe has announced a program for 13 AI factories and 4 gigafactories, right? And if you look at the budget, they're significant, but again, they need to step it up, right, to meet the US or even China, right?
I'm doing a whole feature on sovereignty because I think this has got multiple threads. I'll just get into a few of them. One is the technical challenges.
Sure.
You laid out a few of them. And we talk about on-premises. Yep. That's like in the data center for an enterprise. Okay, we know what that means. But hybrid distributed computing, there's a notion I'm calling on-country, which is kind of like a prem. It's a premise, but it's the country. And then so that's technical. Then you got the geopolitical. I think sovereignty around the assets of a nation is data as well. So it's not just an IT-like problem.
No.
This is a business, country, sovereign problem. Share your thoughts on this. This is a super important point.
You just mentioned that, right? Historically, we're used to having IT making decisions, right? You're used to IT running your business. This is completely different at this point. That's really the transformation and the paradigm shift, right? AI is no longer driven by IT, AI is driven by the business, by the data scientist, by the chief data officer and so forth, to actually make money, to have turn to advanced technology and so forth. But at the end of the day, it becomes there's an ROI and a TCO to it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't do it, someone else will be doing it, right? And so, again, I think it's an opportunity for a lot of the countries, right, that have engineers or that have actually knowledge to really create that intelligence, maintain it, leverage, and grow out of it.
Paul, I was talking to a friend and we were talking about metaphors and all kinds of ways. It's like, we're sailing to that island and also, wait a minute, that's a better one over there. I mean, sovereignty was GDPR. I mean, that's old school compliance stuff. Kind of antiquated, outdated, but still relevant because you still have to have a compliance checklist.
You have to.
And then marry the technology shift with that, otherwise it doesn't work. At the beginning, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, again, when you talk about country, right, it's also ease of data, right? Ease of dealing with the government, right? Formless, right? You don't have to go to DMV anymore, right? That's antiquated. Why would you go to DMV, right? I don't need to see the people in the DMV, do you?
They don't want to see you either, so I know. Like it's a win-win.
So this is all technology that basically add intelligence on data, add checking on data, and this is really what we're deploying now, right? With our customers, we're deploying country-wide sovereign AI systems, right? That are powered, for example, by NVIDIA with a network, DDN for the data intelligence platform at full scale, and then you basically have the suite of software and application that is required to connect all the various government agencies as well as the enterprise, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about telco, you're talking about passport, you're talking about ID, you're talking about everything integrated in a very simple way for the common citizen to basically interface with the government in a simple way.
They got to unify that.
And then smart city, right? I mean, you're talking about smart city.
Computer vision, it's biggest data ingest of all time. All right, so are you having conversations, Paul, around governments around competitive advantage? Because there's two trends we're watching. Energy, everything's bounded by energy. We believe, and this is our thesis on theCUBE research, that alliances may change between countries based upon, one, their sovereignty capabilities now with AI, power.
Sure.
I mean, hey, if I'm a country that have a lot of power,
Sure.
hey, nuclear,
Sure.
hey, France has got a lot of nuclear power,
Sure.
maybe I align with France.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just making this up, but that's the kind of thing I'm imagining. What are some of the leaders, are they there yet? Are we having those conversations?
So clearly, I mean, if you look at it, right, there's about probably 50 sites with a gigawatt or more being set up over the world over the next 3 years, right? And this started basically, they're already in motion, right? So really, what's cool is that the governments are actually accelerating the permits, the requirements, the land. All this is being accelerated, which is actually appreciated, right? And then you mentioned basically France and nuclear. Absolutely, this is a massive. EDF is actually one of our large customers in France, and so we do all the nuclear actually research and data, right, on DDN, which is kind of cool for the past 15 years. And so clearly we are, access to land, access to infrastructure, but also the knowledge and the people that basically can make this run, all is going to impact.
Well, I'm super happy for DDN. You guys have one founder-led company.
My partner Alex and I, right? We
both
met about 40 plus years ago at Caltech.
you guys did pretty good for yourself.
We tried.
Made a lot of money, but more importantly, you guys stayed the course. Now we're at another inflection point. As you look forward, you're founder-led, now founder-inspired. What's the view as you scale the company? Because now you have massive demand. This isn't your grandfather's storage market anymore.